A month ago, or a little more, when we entered this new season, Mark preached on this text. And I've been meditating on it lately and just want to turn your attention to it again. I think it's so helpful for the time that we're in right now and getting our focus on the right place. So, Psalm chapter 4, and we're going to look at the second half. So I'm going to read verses 5 through 8. Offer right sacrifices and put your trust in the Lord. There are many who say, "Who will show us some good? Lift up the light of your face upon us, O Lord." You have put more joy in my heart than they have when their grain and wine abound. In peace I will both lie down and sleep, for you, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. As we consider this psalm, I want to just point out a couple things. Look at verse 5 and verse 8, and it seems there's a little bit of a bookend there. Verse 5, the psalmist calls us to put our trust in the Lord. And then verse 8, it seems as if the psalmist has done that. In peace I will both lie down and sleep, for you, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. So think about those bookends of trusting the Lord and peace, resting in the Lord. And then in the middle of those bookends, verse 7, verse 6 and 7. 6 is the response of those who are not trusting in the Lord. Those who are not trusting in the Lord are looking and saying, "God, why aren't you showing us any good? Why aren't you turning your face towards us?" But the reality is, in verse 7, for those who are trusting in the Lord, we can have what verse 7 says. You have put more joy in my heart than they have when their grain and wine abound. And consider that culture. Grain and wine, those are the necessities. That's food and water. That imagery is blessing and prosperity. And so the psalmist recognizes, even in this time of distress, which we see in verse 1, this is a time of distress, and yet in the middle of that, the psalmist is saying, you, God, are better than the prosperity of the world. You are better than when grain and wine abound. And so I have to ask the question, what is the kind of the grain and wine in my life? What am I looking to other than God for satisfaction? And I think if we examine our hearts, one question or one thought should help us to discern that in our hearts. Do you find yourself asking the question, if only? If only this would happen, then life would be good, or then I would be secure. If only. If only the virus would end, or if only a cure was found for it, or if only the stay-at-home order would be done, or if only I could go fishing. If only, then I would be happy. And this if only is much similar to verse 6. Who will show us good? God, what are you doing? I can't be happy with the current situation. And so we have to recognize today that having God is the best thing. I think it was A.W. Tozer said, "He who has God for his treasure has all things in one. Many ordinary pleasures of the earth may be denied him. And even if he has opportunity to experience those, he won't be so dependent on them that if they're taken away, he feels this great sense of loss. Because if you have God for your treasure, then you can say with the psalmist, you have put more joy in my heart than the world has when they are experiencing prosperity. And so today, verse 5, put your trust in the Lord. Verse 8, lie down and sleep. You can go to bed at night recognizing that God makes you to dwell in safety. And when you have that perspective, you can say, God, you have put more joy in my heart than they have when their grain and wine abound. There's no need for an if only. God is taking care of me today, and I can trust him. So, Peaceful Valley Church, trust him today. Put all of your hope in God and rest in him, for he is good and his steadfast love endures forever. Have a great day.